All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Welcome to the Solar Kings Powur World recap. I'm here with Eric Garcia, Javier Garcia, and Rob Sanchez. My name's Huston O'Connor. I'm a Tier 3 mentor on the Powur platform. And we want to go over some of the major things that were announced, some of the great trainings that happened during this past weekend's Powur World event. So we're going to get right into it. Eric, you want to say anything to get us started?
I am super excited about what Powur World has done for hundreds of consultants all over the nation. We had people from everywhere, California, Connecticut, Florida, all come into Dallas. I've been in Powur now for going on 3 years. I'm a Tier 3 seller here in San Antonio, Texas. Handle a lot of business in Texas and Florida. And I got to tell you, I haven't seen anything as exciting, as inspiring as Powur World. And I'm really glad that we're coming together, doing a recap for those that missed it.
Outstanding. So the format of the call is going to be pretty simple. We're basically going to do it kind of in a podcast format. I've got a ton of notes that I took from each of the different presenters. So I'm just going to go down my list and let's talk about each presentation one by one. For those of you who were there, Rob, Eric, I'd like to get your feedback on what you learned during those presentations, what you took out of it, and what you're excited about going forward. And so starting off, I think we had some awesome opening presentations by both Jim Bunch and Jonathan Budd. Great energy and really just kind of set the tone for the weekend. What did you guys think of those initial presentations? What did you take out of those? Rob?
Man, Jim Bunch, right? Like the breathing exercises, getting you energized, getting you in the right state of mind. That goes a long way, right? Even after the conference yesterday, I'm doing a training with a new consultant that came on board. And I'm trying to make sure after meeting with him and kind of training him on some basic things, I just kept thinking about my mindset, right? And the board breaking thing that Javier was talking about, or that we were talking about, was huge, because the things that stuck with me about that and just the mindset was to break through, right? Which was the point of the Powur World Convention, is you can't focus on the board. You got to focus past it. So, there's things and challenges that we all have. And, as I'm thinking about this weekend and getting ready for the week, I was thinking, all right, what boards are in my way and how am I going to break through them? What am I looking at? You can't stop at that board. You got to focus on what your goal is past that. So even last night, I'm thinking like, all right, tomorrow morning when I get up, I need to meditate, and I need to meditate on my goals. I need to meditate on the life that I want. And that was a great thing about the Powur World Convention. Not only did we have the great mindset training, but all these new enhancements and things that are coming along that will help you achieve those goals even faster and at a greater rate. It just, for me, that was the mental part of it. It's just like really stuck with me. It hit me in the chest and it just stayed there. So that's what I got from that.
I think that you're spot on with that. I think ending the conference in the way they did with that kind of physical representation of the mental state that they were trying to achieve was really cool. What I took out of that, and one of the cool things about that, when you were up there doing it, they were telling you to focus on the person holding the board's eyes. Mm-hmm. And to me, what that represented was not only focusing on your goals, but even then beyond. Because you weren't hitting them in the face, right? You're pushing through that board, but then your focus is even further beyond that. And so that kind of showed me, like, take it to the next level, one step further even than you thought you could go. And so that's kind of the mental side that I took out of that.
And I'll add this. Eric asked me, hey, what did you think about the board breaking thing? And I said, man, I was anxious. like I was a little anxious about it. I'm like, what if I break my hand? What if I punch this person in the face? What if I can't do it? What if I don't break it? I just saw a little lady break a board in half. She's half my size. She probably weighs like 110. I'm like close to double that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So all that anxiety crept in, right? But once I did it, I was like, let me break another one, right? And that's the kind of mindset that we have to have with either door knocking, making cold calls, talking to the next customer. What if they don't open the door? Well, what if they do? What if you do hit your goal for the day, right? Just change that what if. So for me, that was a big mental shift. And Eric said he had a little bit of the same anxiety too. So I was like, okay, it wasn't just me. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not broken. It's just, that's how we're wired. So we just have to, again, just break through.
Yeah, and what that tells you is believe in yourself, right? You know, believe in what you're capable of, and trust in yourself to do what you've set out to accomplish. So let's get into a little bit of the actual training and different sessions that we had. The first main presenter was the CMO, Cami Bomi. She started out by talking a little bit about building the brand and gave us some big updates in terms of what's available to us in the Powur platform. Main thing, and we talked about this a little bit earlier this morning, guys, the marketing center and what's now available in the marketing center in terms of resources, in terms of capabilities. Do you guys want to talk about that? Eric, share a little bit more about that.
The addition of our CMO, Cami, is probably one of the biggest game changers Powur's ever had. I got to be honest with you. I'm super inspired by Cami. She's a genius. She's brought a lot of amazing ideas to our company that help us really expand our business in a very simple way. Doesn't make it very hard at all. And she's also brought in a lot of separate areas where we used to get our merchandise or information all in one marketing link in our back office. And I think that's amazing. The fact that we're able to send advertising, postcards, mailers directly to our consumers from the click of a button, it just blows my mind. And that just kind of tells you what Powur's doing for everyone on the platform. This is literally a turnkey cookie cutting business opportunity for anybody out there that has no experience in solar, no experience in sales, no experience in marketing, to come on board, take a few trainings on video, and just start being successful. And our marketing, we had somebody in the I forget his name, and I apologize for the gentleman, but he said, Powur solar with Powur is not a sales gig, it's a marketing gig, because solar sells itself, right? Solar is all about factual data and transferring your funds from, transferring the money that you're paying to the utility company to owning your own power. But so that sells itself because you're not increasing your budget. So all we have to do is market Powur Solar, the brand, and everything else comes with it. So the addition of Cami being our CMO and everything that she's doing for us has completely blown my mind. And I think that was one of the biggest things of the conference.
Absolutely. She also shared some inspirational stuff as well. So one big thing that I took away from it, she started out by asking us, who are you in 3 words? And pointed out that when you answer those questions in your head, you're typically going to give nouns, right? And she kind of flipped that on its head and said, exist in your actions. Who are you should be reflected by your actions. And she gave us a line with a blank in it. She said, I blank, therefore I am. And she said, use verbs to describe yourself. So she gave us 5 things that she says describes power. She said, we inspire, we lead, we innovate, we serve, and we create change. And I thought that was a great way of kind of changing the mindset and focusing on the action instead of the noun, right? So some great inspirational things beyond just the technical and supportive things that she brought to the table. So let's move on. Let's go to the next presentation, which was our first panel, which was the power of virtual selling. That was Jonathan Bernasso, Wally Arita, Tom Cotter, Michael Margell, Shelley Collett, and Corey Ventura. What were your takeaways from that, Eric?
And which panel? You're talking about the social media panel?
This is the power of virtual selling.
The power of virtual selling. Yes, with Wally.
Yes.
Wally is amazing. Wally is an amazing person. I got to tell you. Here's a gentleman that spent 90 days in the Philippines, and he was able to close deals virtually while spending time with his family. And
let's not just close deals, but be the #1 closer in the company while on vacation in the Philippines. He closed 24 deals that month.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing, right? That's amazing. Where do you see that? I mean, how do you get that? How do you get access to that? By using the Powur platform. Wally said something pretty important. He said, you're not doing a solar presentation. This is a sales presentation. You need to move to the close every single time. He said, if somebody says they're going to think about it, they're 50% less likely to actually want to move forward with you after you leave the call and try to get the business another day. So that really stuck out to me from Wally. So I was really happy about that.
Yeah. Virtual selling, not virtual presenting is how he put it. I love the way he put that. I had a chance to talk to him one-on-one outside of the session and kind of dig a little bit deeper on that as well. And I thought his take on that was really cool. You know, he hasn't done a single in-person presentation since COVID. Everything he's done has been virtual. And he told me he basically, every single presentation he does is structured exactly the same way. He doesn't deviate from it. It's the same timeline, same time frame. And so having that structured plan is really important, particularly when you're doing an online or Zoom presentation. I mean, you look at us now, what do we have? All you see is this, right? My face. And so structuring yourself not only to physically look like you need to be professional, but also to engage and really create that feeling from the customer that they can't say no. And that was really a key thing that I took out of that. Couple other things that I took. So a couple key tips in terms of using Zoom. One of the presenters mentioned, if you're mid-presentation and you realize you need to make an adjustment to your proposal, instead of doing it where the customer can see it or stopping your screen share, pause your screen. I didn't even realize this was an option, but you can actually pause your screen share to where the screen is still up, but you're making adjustments and then resume it. I thought that was a cool takeaway. Another one that I noticed is giving the customer remote control through Zoom. So for compliance reasons, so that you're maintaining that compliant, they're the ones doing the signing or they're the ones doing the application. But going through that process, I thought that was a really good idea in terms of making sure that you go beyond the initial getting the approval, but now you're also getting them to sign the contract while you're on the Zoom. So those were a couple of big takeaways that I took from it as well. And then the other thing that I took was at the very end, they talked about going for the sale and leading up into that, getting the customer to say yes 3 times. And there were three sentences or 3 questions that they outlined. So, Mr. Customer, does this design work for you? Do you feel I've answered all of your questions? And are you confident in me and Powur? And if they've said yes to all 3 of those things, how can they say no? So
Yeah.
those are the things I took away from it. Eric, you got your hand up. Did you want to say something else?
Yeah, you know what? We have some pretty amazing team members that are on the call right now. And one of them I want to point out is Mr. Javier Garcia from Corpus Christi, Texas. This gentleman's already had success, already still having success in another company that he built a while back, a franchise, and now he's in Powur Solar, and he does virtual selling and training and education, all from the ocean, over the water. So Javier, I want to give you about 3 minutes, kind of introduce yourself and tell you and ask you, tell us about your current situation and what are your goals with Powur?
Well, hi, how you doing? My name is Javier P Garcia. In the background, you see a nice, beautiful solar house, but I'm not. I'm actually in a wheelhouse right now on a towboat. I'm a towboat captain. My name is Javier P Garcia. I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas. I've been a full-time towboat captain for about 24 years. I got involved with Powur about 2 years ago, and I am a tier 1 seller, and I'm a full-time Powur solar consultant and certified at that. So while I'm out here, I focus on education and information. And unfortunately, I'm not with you. I wasn't able to make the event, but that doesn't stop me from virtually learning and self-educating myself and building this multi-million-dollar business with very little investment. I wanted to piggyback on what Eric had said. You're coming into a multi-billion-dollar industry with very minimal $100 to get started, $49 a month, and you're in business. You invest in marketing and all these postcards and these sales and everything Powur gives you, and this free, intense, high-end technology education. And that is true. You're just throwing facts out. It's black and white. You're not doing anything special. You just present and close and sell. It speaks for itself, and they're making a transition. Like I said, I'm certified as a Powur consultant. I'm certified as an in-phase consultant. I'm certified as a solar edge consultant, and I'm always continuing my education with watching what's going on at the events, doing Zooms with everybody as much as I can. And when I am home, I'm out there with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm out there with network marketing groups. I'm out there with homeowners, and anything I can get myself in front of somebody so I can also present myself to people and say, hey, I'm your solar guy. I'm the one you want to go with. I'm the one you want to trust. And I love what Cammie was saying. It's those 2 phrases. And my thing on that is, I care, so I want to help you. Very important. I care about you. I care about the planet. I care about our future. So I want to help you, help yourself, help the planet, and help this Mother Earth for the future of your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids. Solar is the future. Everyone in the world needs it. And if we all go solar, we can all help ourselves and help this planet. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier. We appreciate that. We also have somebody that also came to the event, Mr. Rob Ytuarte. He actually works full-time as an insurance agent. That's what he does for a living. And, I think he has some things to share with us, but this is one of Rob's first events because he's always working. He's always working. He's always with his family. And I was glad that he was able to come. Rob, you want to just share a few minutes about your experience? And I know you have a family, and I know it's tough to get away. Man, tell us about your experience.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah. Again, my name is Ytuarte. I'm actually, I guess I should have been an insurance agent according to Eric's. Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, higher.
Okay,
Higher,
sorry.
louder.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I guess according to Eric's destiny for myself, I should have been an insurance agent. I actually have a 20-year career in the IT industry, but close enough. It starts with an I. It's okay. No, but yeah, no, this was my first like full on like multi-day event, and I couldn't have been uh, more glad that I chose to just do what I needed to do to be there, because it was just not only a breath of fresh air, but it just felt like that I finally understood what people mean when they say that these events are game changers, just because of the way that everything ended up lining up throughout the weekend. Um, we heard so much of what the guys have already talked about, but the stuff that resonated with me was kind of to piggyback on what Houston had talked about, the presentation that Cami gave, just what are you as a verb. That resonated with me big time, because like I tell people that I talk to that ask me about the industry and being like going into the sales environment that I've never been in before, people that know me like that. And I always tell them, my family's a big family of entrepreneurs. Like, my grandfather, my uncles and aunts, my father, and so even my mom, like on both sides of the family. And I've always just taken it for granted. But what the common denominator from everyone is that they really put themselves out there in that form of a verb. They showed people that they cared about them. They showed people that they were willing to take an investment in what mattered to them, to help them to either get a better deal on whatever it is that they're trying to buy, or just providing better service than anyone else could provide them. And it wasn't to show themselves up or to put themselves on top. It was just because they wanted people to know that they genuinely cared. And the way that translated down is just how they raised us all. When I say us, I mean me and my brother and my cousins, my whole family. We all have this kind of common denominator. And I just thought, no, that's just the way we are. But now that I see how it's translating into the business and how it gives you a way to separate yourself from the rest of the people that are coming knocking on doors or that are putting up signs or whatever. Once you get that meeting and you're able to really give that verb version of yourself to your client, and you treat them as such, right? You treat them as a client, not just a customer. And I've always in my head kind of had a differentiation between those two words. Whereas a customer is like real transactional. She's like, what do you need? Here you go. Okay, bye. I'll never see you again. A client is someone you build a relationship with that ultimately becomes like a business friend, if you will, or business family in some cases, that you want to have continual communication with throughout the years. And so that kind of like I said, it resonated with me because it's like, man, yes, this is why I'm with Powur. This is why I'm with the Solar Kings, because I've also noticed that same culture in this group of professionals that we've got here today. So that was the biggest thing that I got. In addition to, of course, all of the crazy new things that are coming our way, from that marketing perspective. Like I still can't wrap my brain around everything. I was telling I think Christian or someone there when they were talking about the new CRM and the new mailer program that they're going to launch for us. That's like, man, they just saved me $3,000. I just had a meeting literally last week with the company that does like mailers and stuff like that, and they're telling me all these statistics of how it's still a valid means of marketing. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and now all of a sudden it's part of the Powur platform, and it's like, what? Okay, yeah, let's go. This is, that in addition to all the other things that are kind of falling into place, it's exactly what we need. So it's all of it in all, just the energy, seeing everybody together, seeing the future that Powur has laid out was just an ultimate like mindset shift that I needed to kind of finally snug into, and it translated, man. I obviously I posted on the group. I had that sale on the first day of the call, and then between that that sale that I had on Thursday night, and by the time we actually did end up leaving Sunday, even though my son was sick on Saturday, but all day on Saturday I was in the hotel just replying to messages. I got 5 utility bills between Thursday and Sunday when we left. So I'm busy. I was busy last night. I'm busy again today. And like Eric said, I still work a full-time job. Actually, I've been on paternity leave because we had a baby in April. Today's my first day back. I was supposed to go back on Thursday. I said, no, forget this. I'm going to Powur World. And I called in my first 2 days back at work because I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to be here much longer anyway. What are you going to do? Fire me? Okay, I'll go sell more solar then, But yeah, so this morning, after this call, I'm about to log on to work for the first time in 3 months. And I doubt that I'm going to do anything other than follow up with leads.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
no
much.
problem.
I'm glad that we're able to, that Jonathan Budd and his vision and power is able to offer you the opportunity to be with your family more. I know how that is when having a baby. Jonathan Morales knows how that is when having a baby. You don't want to leave your baby.
Right.
You don't. And work says you have to. And power says you don't have to. Matter of fact, Jonathan Morales, he is a tier 3 seller from San Antonio, Texas as well. Just in a couple minutes, Jonathan, can you tell us how the real estate world, because you're in real estate now, I know Power gave you the opportunity to go free full time. Now you're in real estate. What's the world out there looking at, the real estate world looking at solar now? How's that going now versus when you first started?
So just a little background about me. I've been in solar for 2 years and 2 months now. I did come from the corporate world where Rob's at. I am from Corpus Christi here in San Antonio now. I cover the entire Rio Grande Valley area, Corpus Christi as well. Yes, and I'm a tier 3 seller. I'm a mentor with Power. Okay. So going from that and opening up a new door to be able to get into real estate, while also doing solar still, right? Because I still do mentorship deals. Me and Javier are working on 2 right now, right, buddy? And we're still continuing to grow. So I may not be as social about it because I'm trying to work behind the scenes. I think someone once sent me a move in silence, right? And then hit the checkmate button. So we're going to do that. Okay. So now with the real estate world, right? So when I first got into real estate, I'm only still fresh in. So I'd say about 4 months, maybe 5, pushing it. There's still a stigma from the realtor aspect on it, right? I think it's just something new, like anything. You get set in a certain way, you don't want to change. No one's really susceptible to change. Also is now when it comes to real estate, it goes back to the appraisal, right? So it's always dealing with an extra step that they're not open to, but with the mass growth of solar in all markets, especially Texas market, right? So all your major city areas, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, even moving forward to not so populated areas, not the million populated areas, right? So with those, you having more houses install solar on their roof and they don't come off, they stay on the home. So now it's going to be forcing realtors to deal with it. So now either you fight it or you go with the flow, you go with what's trending, okay? So many people fought pagers, cell phones. I want my landline. I want my rotary. I want my switchboard operator. Well, we all know how that played out, right? So either you keep fighting innovation or you move with innovation, okay? And that was the other aspect of it is now that have background in solar, I have more realtors coming to me asking me about the process in transferring owner to owner, how it works, net metering, buyback programs, how rebate programs work, tax incentive, tax credits. So it's slowly transitioning because now you're forcing the mouse to find a way out instead of trying to just zoom everywhere. So now they have to find a way to learn about it, educate themselves. They have to either, evolve or evaporate. That's it.
Thank you, Jonathan. I think it's pretty awesome that you were able to start your real estate career from the freedom that Power gave you in the first place, got you some income to bring into the household, take your classes that you needed to take because it takes a while to get started, and here you are doing solar and realty both. And so we're excited about you too. Houston, what are some more updates we got talking about?
So let's go on to the next panel. So the next panel was the social media marketing panel. It was hosted by Kiara Smithy, just a rock star on social media. She also had Mike Winter, Joel Gossett, Cynthia Alvidrez, and David Steele up on the stage with her. Let's talk about a few of the takeaways. So for me, the two biggest takeaways that I took out of this panel were more kind of the mentality that you need to bring to your social media presence. And number one, it's not about followers, it's about building relationships. You can have 1 million followers, but if you don't have a relationship with any of them, they're not going to buy from you. So that was one big takeaway that I took from it. The next one was that your audience is not you. A lot of times people get stuck posting things that they like, but not necessarily things that their audience is going to relate to. And so you want to focus on your post being something that are directed towards your audience, not yourself. So those are my two big takeaways. What else did you guys, Rob, let's go to you. You were there, you got to, at least for day one, you were able to be there in the room with us. What were your takeaways from the social media marketing panel?
With the day one thing, I assume you're talking about this, Rob. So yeah, we that resonated with me as well. The posting not what you want to see, but what the other people are wanting to see. That's huge. I always get feedback from my wife when I post stuff that I think is awesome, and she's like, "Why did you put that up?" And I'm like, "It's funny, it's cool." And she's like, "No, nobody wants to see that." And so I've kind of already been training that for that aspect from my house. But I honestly, it helped me to realize, okay, it's not just like, oh, my wife doesn't know what she's talking about. It's like, no, I need to get input from people that, you know, I trust and that are close to me, and be like, hey, you know, what is working for you, or what do you see other people that are, you know, is engaging for them that's working? Because, you know, that's the great thing about this business. Eric put it in the chat last night, is that this is a turnkey business, right? Meaning that you don't gotta come up with, you know, reinventing the wheel. You just gotta, you know, as we always say, copy the right cat, right? So that's what I kind of started to try to change my mindset on, is like, okay, let me look at these people like Joel Gossett and like I forget what the other young lady's name was that does the Rancho Cucamonga stuff, but like what the stuff that they're doing, see the different styles and what is it that fits into that personality that I have that helps create the relationships we talked about earlier, and blend those two things together. Because I don't want to try to be something I'm not on social media, and then I'm really like this. But the thing is that there's so much out there for people that are having success that can fit, you know, what my personality is and what my style is, and I can kind of bring those elements into what my game is. And so that's my game plan to take away from that panel, which was, I mean, just a wealth of information. I mean, yeah, those guys they're on their game for sure.
Awesome. One more thing that I wanted to point out, another thing that I wrote down was highlight the problem or the pain. And this works whether you're focusing on trying to generate referral or leads for homeowners, or if you're trying to recruit your team. If you can point out the problems with their current situation, whether it be, you know, here in San Antonio, people just got the highest utility bill they've ever gotten in their lives this past month. Or, hey, are you tired of working a dead end 9 to 5? Both of those things work in their own respect in terms of recruiting or finding homeowners. So anybody else have anything to add on the social media marketing panel? Cool.
Hey, Houston, it's Rob.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about the social media panel, but Bobby Smith made a lot of comments referencing social media, particularly LinkedIn. And for me, I just recently started, because yes, I was following a bunch of people, right? And then hoping they would follow me back. And it was kind of working, right? I have a bunch of followers, but when I look at my stories, like some people are looking and some people aren't. So kind of to Bobby's point, I'm just starting to DM 10 people a day, dropping some messages, reaching out to realtors, roofers, and just a quick little intro of who I am. Hey, if you need some support, I'm here. This is who I am. This is what I do. And this is, how we can help your industry. just kind of short, sweet, to the point, but just doing that every day, 10, 10, when I'm, brushing my teeth, just, or, other things in the restroom kind of stuff. So there's just so many like hours in the day that you're not doing anything, right? You're watching TV, but are you watching it? Are you listening to, are you playing on your phone? So for me, that's something I took away from Bobby that hit me hard as far as social media. Was like, man, I'm on there playing around, liking people's pictures, but why don't I just drop a message with that like? So for me, that's a big thing that I'm incorporating, and it's already working, right? I've already got conversations with like 5 different realtors, 2 roofers. I got a utility bill right now from a homeowner that I DM.
Awesome.
So it's working, right? You just got to keep up with it. You got to keep shoveling.
And that's another thing, is the consistency piece of it, right? The algorithms are very, very heavily weighted towards those that post on a consistent basis. If you want to be seen, you got to post. Javier, what you got?
Yeah, I just want to kind of piggyback off of what Rob just said. You are the why. So Rob's the why, and he mentioned his wife, and the wife can be the how. Just like Walt Disney, he didn't do it by himself. His brother was on the back end that helped him build Walt Disney. So it is always a good idea before you post to share with somebody else you love and care about and trust, to give you their information and their input that could maybe reach the customer better. So get a second opinion before you post, and you say, she can be your how. So Houston, you can always ask your wife, hey, what do you think about this post? I feel it. This is my why. And she says, Dad, you need to change it to this, and she will be your how. So Rob, really glad that you brought that up. Use your significant other or somebody you love and care about to overview or reread your post before you post it. You may be surprised, it can hit the customer a lot better, a lot stronger. We love your why, but the how is just as important. Thank you, Houston.
Perfect. Well, let's move on. The next couple presenters were some of our major partners. So first, we had the Sunlight CEO up on stage, and he brought a couple huge updates to their offerings that are specific to Powur. So these are things that they're not giving to a lot of other solar companies, but because of the business that Powur does with them, they're going to give us a couple key updates. So number one, they've increased their price per watt to $8 per watt. So to compensate for some of the changes that have happened in the marketplace. Another key one that was a huge one for me, they are now going to allow up to 3 free reamortizations of the loan product over the course of the loan. All the customer has to do in order to get that is place an additional $1,500 principal payment toward the loan, and they can reamortize the loan free of charge. So that's a huge one, particularly in a market where utility prices are increasing. We now have the ability to tell our customers that over time, you can actually make your utility costs decrease on a monthly basis. Super big update. They've also announced that they are moving their traditional product. The FICO floor for their traditional product used to be 650. They've moved that down to 600 for the Powur platform. In addition, they still have the Sunlight Max program that goes down to 580. But that 600 FICO floor gives us just that much more room to work with on the Sunlight platform. So some great info there. After that, we had the couple people from Enphase. So first of all, the VP of their EV, electric vehicle program, came up, gave us a very detailed presentation on kind of the future of EVs, and finished that with a huge announcement, which is live now on the Powur platform. We now have the ability to sell Enphase's EV charger directly with our solar systems. So huge benefit to our customers, huge benefit to us as consultants, because what does that do for us? it allows us to sell a larger system size because that EV is gonna take more power. So anybody, Eric, I see you raising your hand. Javier, Eric, you want to go first?
Yeah, because Javier keeps stealing the show. Okay, and I'm tired of it.
He does that. It's
Just
okay.
kidding. No, but electric vehicles, man, that presentation was really, really interesting for me because that's the future. A lot of people are fighting it, especially in Texas, right? We're an oil state, right? And oil and gas, right? American muscle cars, right? Yeah, yeah. But very soon, no less than 30% of all manufactured vehicles will be electric. And we need to start understanding that that is the trend. Matter of fact, I was driving down the street the other day and I saw somebody charging their car in their driveway. Jonathan, you've seen it on our street. I think maybe at the end of our street. And you can see that their car being plugged in. How cool is that? Just the sheer coolness of it, right? Like, man, I want to charge my car at the house. That's how that stuff starts. That's how solar started, right? People are like, man, what are those panels on top? What are those for? What do they do? People started wondering, asking questions, looking for it. Now solar is getting more popular, right? Well, now electric vehicles are getting more popular, right? So just understanding our future and where we're going, understanding that electric vehicles are now a product we're going to be able to offer is very, I guess it's very refreshing to me. It's very refreshing to me because it's refreshing. It's refreshing because we have the most updated technology in the palm of our hands, and we're able to take that to our friends, family, co-workers, and just say, look, I've done my research. I'm certified. Here, we can offer this. And you're right, Houston. Now we can offer more products with Sunlight going up to $8. Now we can offer more products like EV chargers, energy efficient HVAC, which we're going to be getting into. Super, super exciting. Javier, what do you see?
Yeah, so just did a proposal recently, and the normal is going to be about 6 extra panels on top of the house if there's room for it. But the beauty of it is this new EV charger, from what I saw, is the brand new, who's been in business for a while, is the Clipper Creek Phase 2 or Tier 2 EV charger. There are differences in the regular chargers. You can go get a Tesla and just plug it into your wall and get dirty energy. The beauty of the Clipper Creek is it's going to take the sunlight power from your solar panels, which is clean, renewable energy, and go into this Tier 2 charger that is going to charge your vehicle very quickly, very fast. The ones that you see out on the streets that are the other ones, those are called Tier 3 chargers. So to have this new product with Powur and partner with Enphase and Clipper Creek and have these at our disposal with our company is phenomenal, because then that customer doesn't have to worry about and that's the original way with Tier 1. It takes a long time to charge your car. Well, now our customers are going to be happy. They're going to be able to charge at night with their energy from the battery. And soon the technology's so high that you're going to be able to someday transfer the energy from your battery from your vehicle to your home and use that as a battery backup for your home. So phenomenal technology, great information, and just really happy to see Powur partner with Enphase and Clipper Creek. I'm very excited about that, man.
So a couple things I wanted to add on to that. Number one, the price point on this is extremely competitive. I've seen, to get an electrician to come out and install an EV charger in your home today is usually going to cost $3 to $4 grand. We've got this on the platform today as an adder for $2,400. Great price point for such a quality product too. So awesome information there. They gave one more quote that I want to throw out there that I thought was really important in terms of us as Powur consultants targeting homeowners. One thing that they said was that 70% of people who purchase an EV purchase solar within a year of buying that EV. So if you're not specifically targeting, did you just buy an EV? We need to talk. I can tell you guys, that's probably going to be my BNI ask for this coming Thursday. BNI always says, be very specific. I'm going to say, do you know someone who just purchased an EV? We need to talk. He also mentioned that the average system size increases by 1.5 to 2.5 kilowatts to cover the usage of that EV. And so multiple areas where that's a huge benefit. And really just exciting stuff. Just another addition to the platform that's going to continue to move us along, get us better and better and better. So I'm going to move on to the keynote speaker from day one. Fred Reichelt. He's the author of numerous books. He was also the creator of NPS, or the Net Promoter Score, which if you've ever taken a survey from a company, that's a Net Promoter Score survey. So to have him give that speech and really kind of outline his mentality in terms of what he's talking about was really cool. For me, the thing that I loved about it was that it all went back to the golden rule, which, for those of you who don't know, do unto others as you would have done unto you, or would you do unto yourself. And really it's just the key of customer service, right? Treat your customers the way you want to be treated. And if you do that and do it the right way, and you truly believe that and go all in, it's just going to continue to improve your customer experience. And the fact that Powur would bring someone like this in to speak really is a testament to what they're trying to do in terms of building their brand, building their relationships with not only us as consultants, but also with their customer base as well. So who has something to add to that?
Hey, Houston's Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's funny because the Net Promoter Score, I know Eric and I come from the wireless industry, but I remember those because we were judged on them. I don't know if you remember them, Eric, but man, it was like, if you got a 10, you're great. If you got a 8, you're in trouble. It was like nothing but 10s. And he did mention that a lot of companies use it and they're using it incorrectly, right? Because you see, rate us a 5, rate us a 10. If you like our service, give us a 10, but you're not getting honest feedback, right? You're not finding out what the real issue is. So I think for me, it just reminded me of those times where we weren't really servicing the customer or really getting their, a good understanding of what they needed. We were really just trying to get a 10 so that we could get a high 5 or a gold star or sticker or something. So for me, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, I remember that. And I thought it was a good practice for a business, but when done correctly, yes, absolutely. But we weren't utilizing it the way that he had designed that system to work. So Winning on Purpose, I already got the electronic copy of the book. So that's my next book that I'll be completing, soon. So I'm really excited to kind of learn some of those trade secrets that maybe I, overlooked by just doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, I thought the example that he gave of his recent car purchase was great, particularly for me, because that's my background. I was in the car business for 14 years. And it's so true that car dealers will always say, if anything less than a 10 is a failing grade. if I can't, if you can't rate me a 10, tell me why. But they're not doing that for the right purpose. They're doing that because they're compensated for getting 10s. They're not doing it because it's the right thing to do for the customer. And so that analogy I thought was really, really strong. And ultimately what I took out of that was, if I'm not treating my customer and giving them 10-star service, I've already failed them. And so that's definitely something that I took away in terms of making sure that you're doing right by the customer first and foremost. Anybody else have anything to add on that?
Yes.
Eric?
I think Net Promoter Score is awesome. It definitely shows your hard work and your willingness to treat customers the way they should be treated. It gives us all, a score that'll help us do better. See if there's room for improvement, all that kind of stuff. But I love solar because I tell my customers straight up, I say, solar is about factual data. We're going off of your bill, off of your energy behavior, your true energy data, and we're turning it into panels. And after the sale, your customer is super happy that they're saving money. I love the fact that our customers are happy with us. I love the fact that they're thanking us month after month after month, because unfortunately, I've been in the car business before, and most of the car salesmen would be hiding in the back when a customer would return. And it's probably because they didn't sell with integrity. And I think that's super, super important. Selling with integrity, selling a product that makes sense, that does well, that does great things for the environment, but it also saves a lot of money in the pocketbook. I'm glad to say that I'm in solar because my customers are happy. And I'm glad to be in a business where I don't have to hide or worry about my customers being upset that they went solar. So that's all I want to say about that.
Awesome. Well, after that, we transitioned directly into kind of the Powers department that's taking care of this, which was our COO, Ethan Miller. He came up and gave a great presentation about the customer experience and some of the things that Powur is doing on the back end to improve that customer experience. So one thing he mentioned is that they are focused on building the team to essentially double the size of the customer experience team in the next 6 months. Powur's scaling quickly. We're moving fast. We're selling more than we ever have. And so for them to be kind of in front of that is really, really good to hear. They're improving efficiencies and really focusing on that customer delight. We ended day one with Jonathan Bernasso. Great presentation on how he built his team. He's got a team of over 1,200 consultants, which is amazing. And he talked about a little bit about his levels of pain. And one thing that he mentioned, and Eric, it ties back to something you said earlier when you mentioned that he almost left the platform. And he said that he has the mentality of do one more, whether that means send one more DM, send one more text message, make one more phone call, do one more was really what I took away from his presentation at the end of day one. Awesome day one, and just amazing information, amazing presenters. We're already an hour into this, so I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit. Moving over to day two, we spent the morning hearing from Lynn Twist, the founder of the Pachamama Alliance. Great information. I thought that was an awesome presentation, really a deep dive. All right, so day two, Pachamama Alliance, deep dive into what's going on with the world. Some great information, a lot of very kind of eye-opening stats in terms of just what's happening worldwide, not just nationwide, and how the environment is affecting everything essentially. And so, anybody have anything that they took out of that presentation? Rob, I know you and I were
Yeah.
sitting together. We were chatting a little bit about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, yeah. I know Houston and I were talking because they had these little breakouts between kind of videos showing, you know, the devastation to the rainforest and rivers and things like that, man. And I told Houston, I was like, man, I really just feel guilty, right? Like I just felt like, yes, I care about those things, but what have I really done to kind of help make that change or that impact? It was very eye-opening for me, right? Man, the things that we take for granted are crazy. Just seeing these people have to deal with a lot of people, you know, third world countries have to deal with a lot of the problems that we're creating, right? Like different countries, right? You go to their oceans and their beaches are covered with plastic and those type of things. So for me, it was very eye-opening and kind of inspiring that we are on the right side of it, but we just need to make sure that we're focused and moving forward and knowing that it does impact the world. You know, when we achieve this goal of, you know, converting the world to a more sustainable energy, that's going to be something that we'll be able to, you know, talk about for the rest of our lives and help our families, right? You know, our children, our nieces, nephews, fur babies, everybody's going to benefit from it. So for me, it was kind of eye-opening and kind of made me want to plant my my flag and say, all right, I am solar, part of this movement. We need to move forward, and we need to move forward as fast as possible.
Well, Rob, on that note, you say, what have you done? You've joined Powur and you've sold solar. That's what you've done. You know, and that's we're all doing our part, and we're on the front end of this revolution. You know, one thing that I took out of it, and outside of the political perspectives, a lot of the focus and a lot of the talk was on reconnecting balance and finding a balance between mind and heart. And that goes for all different levels. So, you know, I kind of look at it as like the oil and gas and the money people are the mind, right? And the super far, quote unquote, tree huggers are the heart. And in order for this to work, we have to find both of those sides and find a balance where everybody can agree. And that was one thing that really I kind of personally took out of it. And, you know, just wrestling with the different mindsets and mentalities that you see out there and trying to find something that everyone can agree on. That's the only way it works. If we can't agree, it's never going to work, because it's just going to be a constant battle and back and forth. And so whatever we can do to bring those two sides together, that's really our responsibility in how we continue to grow this. That's what I focus on trying to do. You know, I'm more the mind than I am the heart in a lot of ways, but I see both sides of it. So really a great presentation and a lot of good information there. Let's move on a little bit to the first couple lightning strikes. So lightning strikes, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Powur platform, are huge game-changing announcements that they typically do during these large events. The first one had to do with O&M, operations and maintenance. Couple huge things that they announced. We've already talked a little bit about the first one, which is Powur Care. For the last couple of years, we've been selling the Solar Insure 30-year warranty. Powur is now bringing that in-house. Starting August 1st, Powur Care is going to be available on the platform. That's a 30-year warranty, panels, inverters, directly handled by Powur. That's huge to me because, you know, a lot of times I talk to homeowners who kind of have a little bit of worry or concern about the third party aspect of the Powur platform. And so Powur is bringing more and more in-house. You know, we're doing virtual site surveys now. We're doing on-demand site surveys. We're doing our own design work. more of the project is being handled by Powur, which means we have more control. And the next step in that is our warranty. And so what other company do you know that offers an in-house 30-year warranty? I don't know of any. So this is really a first in the industry. We're going to be on the forefront of this. I'm super excited to be able to offer it. And the great news for us as consultants, because it's in-house, we don't have that extra hand in the cookie jar, which means it's going to be a little bit cheaper, which means it's easier to sell. It's easier to give that customer the extra incentive. So anything else you guys want to add on to that? Awesome. For those of you who weren't there or maybe didn't hear, Lightning Strike number 2 was actually postponed. We're going to have an upcoming Zoom presentation with that because our CEO, Jonathan Budd, unfortunately was not able to be with us on day 2 because he had tested positive for COVID that morning. So looking forward to hearing that Lightning Strike and presentation in the upcoming week or two. The cool thing is that means that even those of you who were not with us for the Powur World will be able to hear that presentation live. Let's move on. The next person that we had speak was Mosaic. Mosaic is relatively new to the Powur platform, but has been a game changer. You know, I can tell you that they have quickly become my go-to lender for a number of reasons. They offer great products, great terms, low dealer fees, and really some exclusive things. So one thing he mentioned that I thought was kind of cool, they have, you know, on the Powur platform from day one, they've had a 600 FICO floor. But what I didn't realize is that's not a 600 FICO floor for most other solar companies. That's specific to Powur. They negotiated with Powur because they understand the relationship that Powur is able to bring to the table, the number of deals, the size of the platform that we offer. So I thought that was pretty cool that he mentioned that. Another thing that was cool that I think Powur is going to start to utilize is his Solar App Plus, which is specific to the permitting process and automating the permitting process. So taking permits that used to take 2 weeks or a month and turning it into a 24-hour turnaround or almost an instant approval process. You know, one thing that really helps us as consultants is shrinking that time from contract to install and really giving the customer the best overall experience. So exciting information there. Couple things that he mentioned that were cool. They now offer a full Spanish docs platform. So if you've got a Spanish speaking customer, they can send the entire loan document through Spanish. He gave a key stat that I wasn't aware of, which is that 15% of the Powur contracts are Spanish speakers. That's a huge chunk of our volume that's done in Spanish. So that was something that I took away from that as well. Another thing that I thought was cool is that Powur is actually the one doing the welcome calls for Mosaic. So again, taking that middleman away, taking more control of the process and really bringing things in-house. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add on the Mosaic presentation? Eric, Rob?
I think Rob had something.
I forgot. No, it was on the tip of my tongue, and then I was waiting. But no, I really love the Mosaic product. I've been utilizing it a lot more and comparing it to the other financing options just to get a good idea of what's going on between like companies, right? Because I have 2 presentations today that I'll probably be looking at Mosaic and some of our other companies that we use just to get a good idea of what's going to be the best benefit for the customer. I'm very excited about the shrinking that permitting time down, right? Because man, if we can get permits done in 24 hours, that'd be a game changer, because normally it's taking 30 days, sometimes 60 or longer if you run into, you know, a municipality that's just not staffed well and they've got 1,000 solar, you know, permits to push through. So for me, that's going to be huge, especially in the DFW market where I'm based out of. That stuff can take forever. You deal with so many different little cities and counties in the DFW Metroplex. So that's going to be very exciting. So, but that's all I got, guys.
Cool. Well, I'm going to move on because I got about 15 minutes before I gotta jump off. But the next presenter was Cami Bomi again. Another amazing presentation and awesome information. Some key changes that are happening to the platform that are going to make it easier for us to recruit and grow our teams. Powur is really focusing on building true consultants, true leaders on the platform. And so they announced that that live now for tier 3 sellers is the new tier 2 training. So you can go into the Powur University, and if you're a tier 3 seller, you can go in and start taking the tier 2 training. They've also got tier 3 training coming out soon. So super detailed, in-depth, deep dive. I know I plan to go back and take that tier 2 training as soon as I can, just as a good refresher and to see what Powur is bringing to the table. Like I said, it's available now for tier 3 sellers. They're starting out with tier 3 because they want to get some feedback. What information needs to be added? What's maybe, you know, not necessary, so that they can really kind of hone that training and give those tier 2 sellers, when they bump from tier 1 to tier 2, give them the information they need to be successful. There's also a new onboarding process. It's super simple. You can now sign up using Google or Facebook, which pre-fills a lot of the information. It shortens that time from decision to sign up to actually being active on the platform. It also gives the option to do it in English or Spanish. And they're now going to give a preview user access. So current state or previous state, you had to actually finish your tier 1 training before you could see anything on the platform. And to make it more convenient and more simple, they're going to give preview access. As soon as you sign up, you'll be able to see the back office. You'll be able to see the links. You'll be able to see all of the information, so that while you're taking your tier 1 certification, you can get more comfortable and start to play around on the platform. There's also a new notifications section that's going to be added to the dashboard. The dashboard's already been enhanced so much. It's awesome. But to have those notifications is just one step up in terms of improving the communication aspect of the platform. Another huge announcement is the CRM coming soon. So awesome stuff there. You're going to have the ability to set appointments, to recruit, to do all kinds of cool stuff on the platform. Really cool information there. Eric, you got something you wanted to say?
Yes, I'm pretty much going to finish up my part, Houston.
Yeah.
I've got another call coming up right now with my lead generation company that I hired. But I just wanted to tell everybody that it was great seeing you in person. If you came up to me and told me hi, and I just want to say I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. You know, we've been all seeing each other on Zoom, and it was so nice to see all of you in person, get a hug, a high five, get a picture. But we're just getting started. We're literally just getting started. One of the top one of the consultants in our organization is an EXP Realty. He's one of the top 20 consultants in EXP Realty, and he has 6,000 consultants in his organization. That's how many consultants we have in the entire Powur Solar platform. So imagine how early we are in the game. You got to get started. And if you've already gotten started, you need to get going, and you need to get serious and focus on this business, because this train is moving. It's moving fast, and you don't want to get left behind. Look, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I believe that in all aspects. And I just want to say thank you, Houston, Javier, Jonathan, Rob, for joining this morning. That's all I have, Houston. If you want to finish up, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, we'll speed up. Just a couple more things, huge announcements that they gave us. So just to wrap up, Jonathan, we'll talk to you soon, man. Appreciate you joining us. Last couple things. So leads. Powur is going to start offering leads as an option on the platform. It's going to be an optional thing where you can basically have your own subscription to get leads through the platform. Next was Bobby Smith. He came up, gave a great speech. We talked a little bit about some of the stuff he mentioned earlier in terms of social media. Key things there, though, was the announcement of new markets. So going live soon are Ohio and Massachusetts. Also a major announcement that Puerto Rico will be live by Q4. So awesome stuff on the platform going on there. We had a great door knocking presentation. The next big thing was Summer of Champions. So launching starting July 14th through August 31st, the top 20 sellers on the platform are going to be invited to another impact journey. Similar to the one they did earlier this year, they're going to go down to Mexico. They're going to build a home for a needy family, and then they're going to have an awesome, relaxing experience at a 5-star resort. The winner of that contest is going to win a Fisker Ocean EV, electronic vehicle. Huge prizes offered up to the top 50 sellers. So get out there, work hard, sell, and be a winner, So those are the big announcements. We had a couple of great presentations toward the end of the day from Luigi Leon, JC Rangel. Just an awesome event, guys. An awesome event. I can't express how much I took out of it, how much I learned, and how much I'm excited to get back to work and grow my Powur business. So, Javier, you got your hand up. What you got, man?
Did they announce when the lead generation would be available?
They didn't give us a specific date. It's stuff that's all in the works. They announced most of this stuff as kind of a preview with dates to come. But the fact that they're announcing it tells me it's happening pretty soon. So expect to hear something in the next month or two.
Did they say about how much at all or no?
Didn't give us any indications as far as cost. I don't know if it's going to be on a per lead basis or monthly. I'm not sure.
Okay. And I don't know, but I saw the email. Did they announce something about healthcare or some type of insurance for self-employed businesses?
Yes. I'm sorry, we forgot to talk about that. So they have partnered with a company called Clearwater to offer 1099 healthcare at a discounted rate, significantly better than the marketplace healthcare, stuff like that. So awesome benefits. They got up, gave us a great presentation as well. But good to know, and really, I think really cool that Powur would think that far ahead to take care of us as independent consultants. It's something, we're 1099. They don't have to do that.
Right.
But the fact that they did that really, again, shows how much Powur cares and how much they are investing in growing this business as well. So,
and that company provides medical, dental, and vision. Is that kind of what they were covering?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow, that's good. The one thing I want to say real quick is Puerto Rico is in dire need of energy independence. Their grid over there is unsustainable, unpredictable, and unreliable. If you don't speak Spanish, number one, learn, or number two, find a really good interpreter that you can work with, because Puerto Rico needs you tremendously. So it's very important to get on this platform, get with Powur, and get started today.
Amen, man.
Mhm.
Guys, with that, that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys joining me for our Powur World recap. To those of you on YouTube, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching, and subscribe, like our channel. We look forward to bringing you more content. I gotta go. I got a hard stop in 4 minutes. So thank you guys. Appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you soon. You guys have a great day.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.